Aggressive.
Mad aggressive.
All right, y'all. We here. Therapy Without a Degree. I believe this is chapter 227. Maybe chapter. This might be chapter 227. I don't know. But we here, man. Joe Fucarino is in the building, in the studio. No Zane today. But I do have a very special guest. All right. We dragged him in front of the camera, all right? All you ladies, everybody out there in the streets kept saying, yo, we need him in front of the camera. We got him. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm honored to be here, for real.
Cool, bro. I'm glad we have you here, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for bringing me on here, yeah. And you didn't drag me, man. I was willing to do it.
I know. I'm just fucking with. I'm not that literal. You know. I just jokes. It's mad jokes. You know. He wanted to come on. I have to drag him. Imagine like, no, Joe. I don't want to come on. Come on and pod. I don't know if I ever had to. Well, sometimes I got to do it with Zane. Sometimes I'd be like, yo, come here. But nah, man. Yo, what's up, bro?
Not much, man. It's just been running all over the place, man. I mean, as you know, I got my pod as well. First class, second place. You guys can check that out right now, wherever you get your podcasts. But I've just been running around, man, whether it's the show or just everyday life, man. It's just nonstop, man. But I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it and I didn't appreciate it.
Word. Now, you've been consistent, too, which is dope, because not many people are consistent. Like, you've been out here working. I've been seeing, like, you really recording out here. Are you doing a lot of pre-recording? Are you just doing a lot of bulk, or how are you doing it?
It's basically pre-recording. I release episodes every Monday and Thursday. And I've just been, like...
Wait, every Monday and Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, so you do 2 a week?
I do 2 a week.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. Yo, he's like, y'all podcasters out there, what are y'all doing? Y'all trash only with this once a week. Yeah, that's fire, bro.
Yeah, man. Honestly, man, if I could do it every day, I would. But, you know, that's not the way life is right now. Maybe in the future, but we'll see. But, yeah, no, I've just been releasing episodes, twice a week, every Monday and Thursday. And now it's gotten to the point now where I was reaching out to people to see if they want to come on my pod. Now it's more like people are reaching out to me. And, yeah, I got to be honest, though, you know, I got to believe in your talent and believe in what you do before I actually bring you on the show, man, because I don't want to bring no bullshit onto the show. And if I really believe in what you're doing, then, you know, you're in.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And the name of your show is the First Class Second Place yep. Podcast, if anyone doesn't know, which we'll get into a little bit later. We'll dig into that. I did have a little topic for us to, like, deep dive, if you're down for that.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. So I was sitting there yesterday, and I was having a conversation with my friend. Shout out to him. You know, we were just talking about, like, how, well, I've kind of, it's a topic I'm going to really talk about. I'll probably talk about with Zane, or we'll touch upon a different time. But I was just saying, eventually I do want to talk about how men and women in this generation, and in today's day and age, after you live with somebody, right, and then you don't live with them anymore and you break up with them or whatever the reason is, no matter whatever the reason is, I just feel like there's been a common thread of not wanting to be in a relationship again, or not wanting to settle down with somebody again.
Yeah.
After that. And I do feel like it's a very, like, 2022 type of thing for that reason to go on. But then it made me think deeper, because I just be like trying to think of all levels, and I don't even be smoking. Like, imagine if I did drugs. Like, yo, I'd be afraid about how deep I would, like, dive into things. But I was like, you know, there's a reason, I think, to that, right? And it's like, obviously, you know, we have many options now, right? But, like, have y'all ever thought of, like, the power of the internet and how many people we know now
Mm-hmm.
because of the internet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know a group of friends, I would say maybe like 3 or 4 friends that I don't know how they're able to do this, but they go on those dating sites or whatever. And it turns out that, oh, I already met your boy. I already met your girl. Like they already met people in advance. And then there's been times where people actually, take sloppy seconds, sloppy thirds. I mean, that's just the world that we live in right now. I don't know what it is. It's all about options at the end of the day. I think that loyalty is a little bit of a dirty word these days because people are now realizing that they have options. They don't want to settle for less or whatever they can get. So they want to keep their options open, and it's almost like you know what? All right, you may not be perfect, but you're the best out of the herd, and I'm going to go with you.
But do you know how many options we have now?
Way too much, and that causes cause for insecurity because we start to realize that, is there something wrong with me if I can't find the one and I have all these options?
Yeah. Like, and you know what's crazy is I think we're the first, like, our age group is the first generation to ever experience something like this.
Well, yeah, because back then they didn't have the technology that we do now. I mean,
like our parents never had access to this many people.
No. I mean, everybody just ran in their own circles, and then it just kind of went from there.
Like, they knew a lot of people. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like I be, like my father knows a lot of fucking people in this community.
Mm-hmm.
My mom knew a lot of people in her community, but it was like, do we ever like, especially if you're active in the internet,
yeah,
like, do you ever like really sit there and try to think like, you know how like a lot of times we're following a lot of people. Like, you ever look in your Instagram and who you're following, and then you get to a point where you're like, yo, no, I can't unfollow these people because I actually know these people. And you ever like look at that number, and even like your Facebook friends, like, do you ever look at how many? Sometimes it is like there's hundreds of people. Sometimes
I've definitely done that, and the funny thing is that I can't speak for everybody else. I just know that for me personally, with my own personal social media, every single person that I know, only on my personal, not my business shit, not my podcast page. A podcast page is like a bunch of people that are just interested in my show, whatever. But on a personal, like my personal Instagram, on my personal Facebook, every single person that I follow is somebody that I know. I don't even follow celebrities. I don't even follow like SportsCenter or anything like that. If I know you, I'm following you.
And this is your personal, right?
This is my personal.
So let's just say I'm just curious to pull up numbers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious because like this is like super fucking interesting to me.
Yeah.
So about 700.
Yeah. It used to, believe it or not, it used to be around like 300 or 400, but that number kind of got up ever since I started the podcast.
But it's probably and then this is just one platform.
Yeah.
This is not including Facebook, and this is not including like, and like you said, these are probably people that we really know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy that the fact of that now, our community of people can be so large.
Right. And what's crazy is that before I met you, I went on your Instagram. I never met you before. And we had like 27 or 28 mutual friends, but we never crossed paths before.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
It is.
And then afterwards, we finally meet up. We started to work together. And the funny thing is, I'm probably closer to you than the rest of everybody else that I follow on there.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
You just never know sometimes, man. It's just like, you start realizing that shit. Like, even, like last week, we had Izzy Nice on a podcast, and I know a lot of his people. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and it's just, where'd you grow up? What town?
Well, so I have a funny story. So I was born and raised in Teaneck, but while I was living in Jersey, I was always bouncing around. Like, I was in Paramus for a while, and then I was in Patterson / Totowa, like right down in that middle. I lived in Hawthorne. That's mainly the hometown that I would consider my hometown.
Hawthorne?
Yeah. And,
but it was like Hawthorne, it's like Patterson, you said? Or
yeah. And, a little bit of Paramus and Fair Lawn as well. And I went to high school in Florida. So I've been all over the place in my childhood and my teens, and it wasn't until my adulthood that I really called this place my home. I've always considered this my home, but this is a place that I just stay consistent with when I turned into an adult. But what's your point that you're trying to go?
The reason why is that, for the most part, most individuals that grew up way before we did, that's where they would be limited to.
Yeah.
Like, as far as knowing people. Like, if you grew up in Paramus, you knew people.
Yeah.
Like if you were active, you knew everybody in Paramus.
Yeah.
And then maybe you knew like 1 or 2 towns over. But like that's kind of it. Yo, now if you really start thinking about it, man, like you can start going city to city to city and be like, yo, I know a lot of people in every city. You know, or not every, I don't mean every, but there are a lot of cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And it's just crazy that the internet did that.
Yeah, they connected us all, man. Like I even know people that I've never even met on a personal level, but well, I mean, I haven't met them physically, but I got to know them pretty well, like in like Texas or California.
Yeah, even out in the countries.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't reached that part, but yeah, you're definitely right though. Like I've never set foot in Louisiana, but I've actually met people online from Louisiana.
Yeah. Now, the reason, and you know, I correlated that with the whole like dating thing because it's just fucking crazy. Like, yo, back in the day, man, you didn't have that many options.
No.
You know, so it's just like, I think it's just something just for us to think about. You know, not saying like it's right, wrong. It's just things to think about now because it's just like, you know, people that were in relationships during, because also the internet, it's been out for a while, but it took a while to get here. And not a while, but there has been progression. So if you were in a relationship from like, let's just say 2009 to 2015, you were like in a 6-year relationship. You come out of that now being like, yo, I don't know if I want to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. From experience, I don't know how that feels because I've always been a relationship kind of guy. And then like basically from my teenage years up until like 21, I was a relationship guy. Like as soon as I got out of one, I was jumping right into another one. But then around 21, 22, I actually was single for almost until I was like 20, 28, 29.
What years was that?
To make it even easier, I was single from like 2009, and I didn't get into a relationship until like 2015.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of just missed it. Like,
yeah,
you just missed like those years. Don't get me wrong. Instagram and online presence was still very active.
Right.
But like, I just feel like the way it is now is just on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm in a relationship now, so I don't know how.
Of course. And I'm not even saying, I'm just saying like our access to humans. You know what I'm saying? Like even business wise, like not even, you know what I mean? Like not even just like on a what's out there if you're single, what's out there if you're taken. You know what I mean? I just mean like just accessibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fucking crazy. So it was just something that like I was like, you know, it's something to really think about, and it's also something to like, you know, a lot of times we bash the internet. You know, a lot of times we you know, we shit on it and we're like, damn.
Well, at the end of the day, we know that the internet unfortunately brings out the worst in people, and then you realize that it's just one big fucking cesspool.
Talk to me. Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, because how many times do you see it, especially like on a website like Twitter? Like you have somebody that in person they may come off as like, you know, God-fearing person, a nice family man, humble working, you know, person, whatever. But then when they feel like they really need to get what is really in their mind, they go ahead and go to Twitter. They start, you know, spewing all of this hate and all this shit, and you know they even go at like politicians and so on and so forth, talking about, you know, you're the fucking worst, you should die, I hope you die in a plane crash, all that kind of shit. And you know this is what goes on in their mind, and they feel like social media is now an outlet for that. You know, sometimes I think that I meet some of the coolest people in the world, but then I've realized their true colors once I see their social media.
Yeah, I mean, it shows people's true colors sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives people another way to, like you said, express themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might express myself through my writing or through this or through that. Sometimes if you see someone on a day-to-day, you know, you might not get all aspects of them.
Right.
You know, but sometimes if you go see them on the internet, you will. It's a whole nother world. We've had a metaverse before the metaverse. Y'all just don't know it.
You believe in that?
Yeah. The whole... it's a whole world.
Yeah.
The whole, like, if you really think about it, man, we've already been living that whole virtual reality shit. Just in a very light form. Like the fact that we know all these people in different areas and Louisiana and all that shit. It's like,
Yeah.
You're virtually, if without the internet, there wouldn't be any of that.
No. I mean, forget networking. Networking would just be,
In person.
in person, and it would just be, it would be habitual, or just a hamster wheel just going round and round. There's only so many times that you could actually
Touchdown.
exactly.
And there's, don't get me wrong, there's people that are really, really good at that type of stuff and shit. But like, we've already been living in a virtual world.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If like you really want to sit there and actually think about it, because take away the internet and there's so many things that wouldn't be, just a thing. Like it's also physically sometimes impossible to reach as many people. Like you could put a fucking billboard outside this place today, and you're only going to reach so many.
Right.
You put that same post on Instagram.
And it's all about the algorithm. Don't forget that as well.
Of course. But even if you have 100 followers, if 100 people see your post, it's probably way more than what's going to see it outside your door.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like just depending on where you live.
Because not everybody has access to your street, but they all have access to your profile.
Exactly. And like, I don't know. It's kind of deep, but like just people, I don't think people think about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, obviously people don't even think that those numbers are good enough. We've gotten to that point where like, if you get 100 likes, they're like, oh, you only got 100 likes. Or even if you only got 20. It's like, yo, did 20 people walk past your door or past your business? You might have not even got 20 people to walk by your business.
Right.
But you got 20 people to like your business and see your post.
Yeah.
But we've gotten so like accustomed to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we feel like we need that as a sign of validation.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, and it unfortunately affects people's feelings too much. Sometimes if you have these expectations of what you want to get numbers wise and you don't get it, then it ruins your whole fucking day.
Do you feel like for you personally, has that ever like bothered you at all?
Maybe when I was younger, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore. I haven't really been on social media as much as I used to be. I still post almost on a daily basis, but it wasn't. Now it's to a point where I don't feel like it's a necessity. Now, the only reason, honestly, that I ever post is just because of my show. Other than that, I don't mind being a private person. I don't feel like the whole world needs to, know what's my whole life, my every look, everything that I'm doing. But most importantly, I think it used to bother me because I was so unsure of myself and so insecure that I needed other people's validation to show that, all right, he is a good person, he is worthy of living, and so on and so forth. But then afterwards, I realized that it's just imaginary and it's all in my head, and I can't let something like the internet validate who I am as a person. So once I realized that, I don't get discouraged about it. Now it'd be cool. At this point now, it just goes to show that people are liking what I'm doing as far as my show. But in my everyday life, it doesn't really matter. I mean, everybody's gone to Disneyland or whatever, Disney World. Everybody's done this. Everybody's done that. I'm not that guy that posts pictures of their food every single time I go out to eat. I don't know what it is. Listen, I don't knock anybody that does it. I'm just saying that that's just not me. I don't see the purpose in it. Like, I got my food and I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, he's like, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Nah, 100%. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool, man. Now, do you feel like, when for you, what was that pivotal moment? Because you say maybe you once cared and then you didn't. So what do you feel like is that change? Because maybe there's other people that are going through that now.
I mean, I think for me, I just got tired. I mean, it was just one of those things where like I got tired of looking at my phone and just hoping that there was validation out there. I you know what it was? It was just as simple as me decided that, you know what, I need to take a mental break. I need to take I need to take myself away from social media, my phone, and so on and so forth. And I took that break. It was about like a week or two. And that's when it really started to make me realize and open up a whole part of my brain, so to speak, where I was like, you know what, you really shouldn't let this control your life, because you have other things that are more important to you. You're worried about getting all these likes and all these all this validation from people that you may or may not know on social media, but you got to worry about when is your rent coming up, when is what time you got to wake up for work, what are you going to eat, what's your next move, what's your 5-year plan. You let that distract you and you're going to be stuck in a rut, so to speak. And I think that's what it was. I feel like I was stuck because I was focusing too much on things that weren't important, that weren't going to develop me as a human, and also just grow exponentially in my mind. So I just felt like as soon as I gave myself that mental break from social media and the internet altogether, it was like me breaking out of a metaphorical prison, and then I was able to really explore other options that are out there. Now, social media is just a part of life. I get that now. That's the world that we live in today, but it's not my world.
How do you now shift that into, because now you do business, and it's like, so what do you feel like is that balance of like paying attention but not paying attention? You know what I mean? Like how do you now, because you do business, because like they always say, even like, with numbers, you want to check the numbers every day. Like
Right.
if you want to be a millionaire, you should be looking, they say you should be looking at your bank account every day, to like, your finances. So like if you want to grow in podcasting, you should be looking at your numbers every day. But like now, how does Jason separate that of like looking at the numbers, or do you? If you don't, that's okay too. But like, do you pay attention to the numbers?
I do pay attention to the numbers, but I guess I pay attention to the numbers for a different reason. I don't look at it necessarily. I don't look at the numbers because I want to make sure that my brand is growing. I mean, yeah, I do care in some aspect, but I don't care about like it growing to the point where it's going to monetize me.
Okay.
If I feel like it's going to monetize me, great. I'm gonna let it come to me. But ultimately, I look at the numbers, and if I feel like they're steady or they're going up or they're going down, for me, that's more of a case of making sure that I'm putting out the best show possible. If I feel like the numbers are down, then I got to do a better job of doing a good show. If they're staying, right there, okay, keep on doing what you're doing, but also try to, expand from that. If they're going up, then I know that I'm actually doing a really good job. And I want to let the greatness of my show allow me to get the opportunities that are there for me if they're there. So with that being said, if I focus too much on the numbers from the point where, I look at it as stocks, or I feel I can't get myself wrapped up in that, because I feel like I'm gonna mentally drain myself, and I'm gonna kill myself to the point where it's stressing me out, and I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, because it might be like a self-sabotaging.
Right. And I said this a million times on my show as well, that when I used to do music, I feel like I was in it for the wrong reasons. I wanted to be in it because I wanted to make money and like live the lavish lifestyle and so on and so forth. Then next thing you know, it started to feel like a job more than an actual hobby or a passion. And that's what I feel like with podcasting is right now. This is actual passion of mine. And I've mentioned a million times already that I could have a loyal followers of 6 for like 20 years, and I'm fine with that, only as long as I know that I still have the opportunity to get my voice out there, because I'm doing this for the love. I know that sounds cliche and everything, but I'm doing this, and I've probably done more with this podcast than anything else that I said I was going to do, because there was that one thing that was missing before, and it's and I'm applying it to it now, and it's passion.
Yeah, man, that's some real shit. Like that's, when you lead with passion and you lead with love, things could be so great.
Yeah, and even though it's just podcasting, it's meaningful for me. I found something that's given me meaning to this life that we're living in right now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years, 20 years from now, I may find something different, but as of right now, I'm just living in the moment, and I'm just happy that I finally found something that I love doing. And, not to toot my own horn or anything or be egomaniac, but I honestly feel that I'm doing a lot better than some other people that wanted to jump into this endeavor before or after me.
Yeah. And what do you feel about it? For you, what is that journey? What do you love about the journey of podcasting? For the people that don't know, the people that don't listen to your show, like what is it for you? Because we've talked about it before, that you feel like it's like a therapy for you.
Yeah, it definitely is, because again, a million times I mentioned on my show that I've dealt with social anxiety. And I still deal with it to this day. There'll be times where I could be like at a party or a gathering, and it takes me a little bit while to get acclimated to everything else, because I'm just not in my zone, so to speak. And there's been times where I don't get in my zone. I'm just there. I feel like I'm isolated from everybody else, and I just can't wait to get out of there. It happens from time to time. I don't know what causes it. It's just something that's happened to me ever since I was a little kid. But I feel like podcasting for me personally has really done wonders for my social anxiety, in the sense that I was afraid to approach people and talk to people, and I was always shy and didn't want to like say anything. Now it's allowed me to show that, you know what? It's okay to get to know people. It's okay to talk to people. You shouldn't worry about what what they think of you, because, you know, if you don't show that you're confident, and if you don't show that you're you're willing to talk and also be open, then, you know, I'm just stunning my growth there. So the podcast really has helped me realize that it's okay to talk to people. It's okay to get out there. It's okay to network. And also, I actually discovered that, you know, even though I'm still kind of that shy guy every now and then, when I'm in podcast mode, like when I'm in networking mode, I'm in a different zone. I'm a different animal. And it's allowed me to talk to people that I didn't think I would ever get a chance to speak to.
Yeah. It's some real shit. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't know that, you know, you can get into a different mode. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you are, because it also is a form of entertainment at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So when you're stepping into that, sometimes it's easier. That's why even, you know, it's interesting that you say that, because like I have actually like 2 friends that are artists, the music artists. And, you know, in person, they're kind of like a little introverted, and they don't even like, even their like, the way they talk is not so like, you know, high and loud or anything.
Right.
But when they're in that booth, their records are punching. Punching.
We actually know a couple people like that.
Yeah.
We know Gons, and I mentioned, and, you know, I had him on my show, and I thought it was funny how he was a little scared at the fact that I was able to read him, in the sense that, you know, behind the scenes, he's a shy guy. He keeps to himself. He's nice. He's quiet and stuff like that. But as soon as he gets into that booth, he's a fucking animal in the rap.
Yeah, he was one of the people I was talking about. He was one of the people I was talking. Him and one of the person of mine.
Like I find it hilarious. Like I listen to Gon's music and I'm like, yo, this dude is a fucking beast.
It's
but then
punching through the records.
Yeah, but then when I see him on like, just, you know, in a general sense, I'm like, bro, you okay? You good? You like?
But he's expressing himself through the music.
Right. And you know,
and that's just how some people do.
And I think that's what's happening with me with podcasting. This is
me too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I'm quiet as shit before we start. Y'all know, probably like, oh fuck, this is gonna be a bad podcast. And then when we start, and it's like, all right, we lit, we here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also sometimes not this like, you know, like I'm just a chill guy. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to podcasting, you know, it is like you have to. It is that one moment. Like for me, it's kind of funny, but like I'll be like, nope. Let's save it for the podcast. Like I'll save that energy, that extroverted energy. I save it for when I record. Like I'll try to save it all week. I'll save it all week for that 1 hour, a week to like let loose and just let all the gunshots go, and just to do that. And like, all right, this is the time that you get this version of Joe, you know. And on some real shit too. That's actually, you probably don't even realize it. That's really valuable. That we could all do that. We don't realize it. But the fact that Guns can do that and like let loose and just be his true hardcore self on a record. Right. You know why that's valuable? It's because when he drops an album, I want to listen to it because I want to see what he has to say. Yeah. I want to see that pocket of him that maybe you don't get to see on a daily basis. It's like watching a boxer fight. You know what I'm saying? You watch a boxer train and all that, or sometimes you see him on a daily basis, cool, regular guy. But guess what? When that bell rings, you get to see him fucking go off. And you get to see all that aggression, all that emotion, and everything come to fucking life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing kind of like with podcasting. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool. But that's not that. That doesn't really spark that much. For you, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if I'm going to listen to your podcast, it's like, oh, okay, now it's time to really get into Jason's bag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think Javi even the same way. Like, maybe Javi, you know, maybe I see him in the gym. He's doing his things, quiet, chilling, whatever. Yeah. But then I know when his YouTube pulls up, yes, guess what? It's PPG Javi in the fucking building. And you get to hear his values, his beliefs, and all that. Yeah. So it's valuable without us even realizing it.
It definitely feels valuable to me because people that I've known for a long time, and then afterwards they find out that I have a pod and they listen to it, they're not only enjoying the show for what it is, but they're impressed. Like they're looking at a side of me that they didn't know was there. Yeah. And, you know, that actually opens up a whole new light to people, how they feel about you. And that actually makes me feel, and I think that's what it's doing wonders for my mental health, because it's letting me know that, okay, I'm not such a piece of shit after all. I'm actually a pretty good guy.
You're not a piece of shit. You're a great guy.
I appreciate that.
So, but honestly, too, it's like it's also a great forum and a great way to express yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because how many episodes have you dropped?
I just dropped 38, episode 38
you
yesterday.
Catch up to me, dude. Too. Actually, the listeners don't know, but I was gonna start doing more episodes.
Oh, you did mention in the last episode.
Did I? Did I mention it?
No. What you said in the last episode was, I would do 5 a week. And then Sam was like, "Let's go," something like that. Yeah.
He ain't doing 5 a week. Get the fuck out of here. He's not doing that.
This shit is whack. Get this shit the fuck out of here.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I love you, Sam, but you're not doing 5 a week. It's not that guy. But
I'll tell you what, whatever way he can pick up, I'll pick up the slack.
Hey, let's get it. Nah, and I'm just fucking with him too. That's my guy.
Shout out to Zane, man.
Yes.
That's, I love that episode that me and him did with Quentin Tarantino. That was a dope episode, man.
100%.
Yeah.
And anyone ever talk shit about Zane?
Shut the fuck up, man.
All right, shut the fuck up.
I'll get real Jersey on a motherfucking smack him.
Exactly. Anyone that has talk shit and acts up with Zane. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking about finding a New York studio because I have a lot of dope people in New York.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a New York home to do New York episodes, and then do like a Jersey media one day a week, and then do like a New York thing once a week. You know, just because I have a lot of people in New York that I just haven't talked with yet because they think fucking Jersey is like Boston. Like,
yeah.
It's not that far, dog.
No.
But probably takes you longer to get to fucking Long Island.
But you know what? We also have different resources now. I mean, I've already done a couple episodes of on my podcast where I spoke to people that are in Miami. We did it through Zoom and everything, and I even had a guy that was all the way from Staten Island who is not very technologically advanced. Yeah. So we did a phoner. But like at the end of the day, I just find ways to get the show done. I just follow that mantra. The show must go on. That is dope.
I'll be real. I don't have that in me. I'm not the Zoom guy.
Listen, I'm not really.
I'll fly there. I'm psycho. Like I've literally. I've flown to California, interviewed one dude.
You did tell me that, and I think we're basically on the same page in the sense that not long ago I went all the way to Long Island. I went to Long Island twice. One to interview somebody, and the other one to be interviewed. So me, and I mentioned on one of those episodes that if I had my way, I would do in person every single time. But I also know that it's not always practical, and you got to make some compromises. And as much as I don't care for Zoom, it's actually helped me out. And what's actually pretty cool is that for people that I never met before, and then I meet them on Zoom, they got comfortable to the point where the next time they want to come on my show, it's going to be in person. Yeah, so I feel like for me, at least, Zoom actually opened up a little bit of a door for that to possibly happen. Because I feel like if it wasn't for Zoom, then I don't know if I would ever get these people on. Because you're like, I mean, I don't know you like that, bro. I'm not coming over to you for that. Well, you're not coming over here.
Nah, I feel you. I've done a couple of them. I do a couple here and there.
But I agree, it's not my favorite.
Word, yeah, in person.
Yeah, in person is always going to be the best.
In person is always best. I don't even know where I was going. I was going somewhere.
Oh, my bad.
No. Before that, before I even mentioned about the 2 a week, I don't know. I was like, but
you were talking about New York.
Yeah, no. Before that, you're doing a lot of episodes. Yo, look at this. When you get old, man. Yo, when you get old, that's it. You just fucking lose it.
Bro, I'm turning 36 in 2 weeks, man. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yo, let's go. Taurus, right?
Taurus gang, yep.
Taurus gang. Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to my best friend Anthony. It's his birthday this Friday. He's actually he's making me get dressed. This guy. He's talking about Del Fresco's.
Wow. Fancy.
Yeah, hold on. He's like, what do you say? Oh, now it's switching up.
Mount Fuji.
Now it's Mount Fuji. Now it's Mount Fuji. We're gonna have to find out.
Mount Fuji's lit, man. Don't even front.
I have to call this guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna get me dressed. See if he answers. Yo. We got you live on the pod. What up? Yeah, love incriminating people. No, we're not live. So they're not even going to hear this until tomorrow.
They're not live.
Nah.
Be careful, man.
What's up?
You gotta be careful, man.
Why we gotta be careful?
I told you, man. That social media get you in trouble, man. I could have told somebody I'm at, I'm not at work. I'm at work, or you gotta
They
be careful, man.
they don't know what's going on.
You gotta be careful, man.
Nah, but I'm gonna say, yo, shout out to you. It's your birthday coming up Friday. Taurus gang.
Where's Zane at?
Zane's not here, man. He's slipping today. He's slipping. But all right, just had to give you a call because it's your birthday week.
Remember, my name is David.
Yeah, this guy. All right, David. All right, David. Adios.
All right, man.
I'm gonna start calling you David now. This guy would pick a white name.
All right, man.
Bye. Stupid David. All right. Fuck it. So shout out to David, y'all Taurus gangs. And what day is yours? His is the 22nd.
Mine is May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah, 2 days before Cinco de Mayo.
Word. And that's a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, unfortunately it's a Tuesday, so.
Oh shit. We lit. I'm actually interviewing someone dope that day. Fucking
Not me.
He's like, nah. He's like, not me that day.
I'm playing.
What are you gonna do for your birthday?
I don't know, man. I don't have anything planned. I'm kind of a boring person. If anything, I'll just
You're not a boring person.
I'll just celebrate like maybe the weekend before or the weekend after. Maybe the weekend of Cinco de Mayo. Celebrate two things: my birthday and the holiday.
Hey, fuck it, let's go. And I fucking remembered where I was going with my point about you doing 2 a week.
Yeah.
So the fact of that, as you start doing these things more, right, and the more episodes you do, like you realize that shit really helps you in other ways. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to just like, especially when you would say like, you're maybe, if you would say you're like introverted a little bit, or you just like, you're not like so out there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially for me, being on a microphone every single fucking week helps you. You know what I'm saying? Like helps you even be able to speak in front of a room or speaking people and meeting people. It's kind of crazy, but like before doing a pod, I would never imagine speaking to fucking more than 1 or 2 people.
I come to realize that, a microphone has been an outlet for me for longer than I realized because, when I was doing music, I felt like the microphone was my love. And now here I am using it for something else.
Word.
I don't know what it is, man. I just have an affinity for microphones. And, also I'm always about the sound quality and so on and so forth. That's why, when we first met, the equipment that I had, even though it was like, it wasn't expensive, but it did the job. It does the job.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, as opposed to, these regular cheap ass USB mics. But at the same time, I'm not gonna knock it too much because at least those people are actually putting out content as opposed to some people that I know that are not.
Word. A lot of people out here just talking about it, but they ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So what is first class, second place? Why the name of the pod?
So the reason I called it first class, second place was because, and anybody could judge me for saying this, but I don't give a fuck. I feel like Jersey is a first class state. My personal opinion. I love being from the state. I love living here and so on and so forth, even though it has its flaws. But I feel like it's a first class state, but they want to keep us, in second place to like New York or whatever. It's looked at as like the little brother of New York. And I kind of followed that sentiment with everyday life. Like I feel like I could do a first class show, but I'm probably never going to be on, with the top dogs or anything. So I kind of have that mentality that, it's an underdog mentality where, I know I could do the best job possible, but y'all are keeping me down. So that's why it's a first class show, but you want to keep me in second place.
This guy. This guy talking his shit. Let's fucking go.
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. And what's like, so if someone's listening to this, man, like what can they expect from your show? Like what topics, what things are you trying to really get into? I know you have a love for film. Is that like, do you feel like you try to incorporate that in there, or what is that like?
It's a little bit of everything. I feel like I'm a multifaceted person to begin with. I know that there's people out there that do like YouTube channels or podcasts specifically focused on one subject, and that's cool. They could do that. But I like to go on different avenues because I like to listen to a whole bunch of different shit. Like one day I'll listen to a sports pod. One day I'll listen to a motivational one. Sometimes I'll listen to like these crazy stories or, whatever. It just I don't just stick to one specific podcast category. I like to do all kinds. So I figure, you know what, let me do that as well. And on my show, you could expect a lot of everything. Like I'm a sports fanatic, I'm a movie fanatic, I love music, I love talking mental health. So you're gonna get a little bit of everything of that ilk in there. Now, the only rule that I have is no politics, no religion. Not just because those are subjects that are taboo, but honestly, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to those subjects. I can't tell you my opinion on like a president's debate or anything like that. I don't give a shit. But yeah, so those are the only rules that I have. And to add a little bit flavor to the show, I bring on people that I believe in their talent, I believe in their craft, I believe in what they're doing, and I do a little bit of promotion of what they're doing so that people can check them out and also get to know them a little bit personally. And that's why we come up with certain topics or subjects. Like, perfect example, when I had Zane on. Zane is a movie fanatic just like me, and he has his podcast, Coffee and Critique. So I used that episode of the dedication to Quentin Tarantino as an opportunity to talk film with one of my favorite directors, with somebody that I know appreciates that, you know, that guy's work as well. And also at the same time, let people know that, hey, this guy Zane actually has a podcast also called Coffee and Critique. Go check him out.
Yeah, word. I like how you fuse them. I like how you fuse the two. You know what I'm saying? That's dope, man.
And you know, one of the things also that I realized about me being on the show, on my own show, is that, you know, I'm not selfish. Like if I succeed, it's because everybody else that I brought with me is succeeding as well. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be the one that's like on top of everybody else. I don't want to be like on the top of the mountain or whatever. I want all of us to be on top of the mountain. I don't know what it is. It's just the selflessness in me that I don't know. You get where I'm coming from.
No, 1,000%, bro.
I want people to be as successful as I am, so to speak.
Yeah, no, 1,000% get it, bro. And you know, just keep being you, keep being that person, because a lot of people won't really get it. Like I've had that too in my journey. Like people
are worried too much about competition, man.
Yeah,
worried about it. Like I'm not really a competitive person of that, you know, that crazy. Like I'll be competitive like in a game of Monopoly or some shit like that. But as far as like doing something that we're passionate about, like if I was trying to be competitive with you with a podcast, I probably wouldn't have fun with it, because my goal would just be to like, yo, I got to take this dude down, but I don't want to do that, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm never the same way. I'm never competitive with shit like that. I just work.
Yeah,
just working.
And besides, you know, I know that we're all going through it. We all are trying to reach a level you know, that we want to get to. So why put somebody down like that?
Yeah,
you know?
100%. We're all doing the best we can. You know, hopefully, you know what I mean. And if you're not, hopefully you soon are.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. One of the last things too, I really wanted to get in with you about and talk to you is like, you know, when we were on your show. Again, thank you for having us. So I was asking you pretty much about
when you came on my show.
Yes, and what I mentioned was, you know, what we got into. You were saying how, you know, you've been through, like, just like I have, you know, we've been through our own mental health journeys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for you, how did you get out of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, for, you know, you don't really have to, it's up to you if you want to speak on, you know, the feelings that you were going through during the time. But my main thing is, how do you pivot out of it? Because there's a lot of people right now that are listening to this that are going through it as well. And they maybe don't know how to get out of it. And I'm not saying you're going to tell them how to get out of it. I just want to know, how did you get out of it?
I got out of it because, as cliche as it sounds, time heals all wounds. You know, I went through a rough period for, you know, about 2 years roughly. And then afterwards it just got to a point where, like, you know what, I don't want to be wallowing anymore. I just, you know that phrase, you know, shit or get off the pot. That's basically what happened to me. Like, I just woke up one day and I just, like, you know what, it doesn't hurt as much as it did the previous couple days. So I just feel like time heals all wounds, for me at least. And then I just gotta, you know, figure out my next step. And then next thing you know, you start figuring out what you want to do personally. Like for me, I was like, I think one of the things that was, you know, not helping me was that I was just staying stuck. Like my life was basically, as soon I finish work, I come home, I watch TV, I eat dinner, and then I go to bed. I was doing the exact same thing for so long, and then I just got tired of it. And I wanted to do something else. So it was small things. Like it was things like working out. It was things like walking around, you know, just around the block for a couple, you know, for a little bit of cardio. It was discovering new music. I'm not much of a TV guy. I've always been a movie guy, so I decided to step out of my realm and, you know, see what else is out there. Yeah, and just doing things that you normally wouldn't do, and not being afraid to try different things, and it can actually be a great distraction for whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
So when you start to realize that there's other things out there that you've never tried before but are willing to, and, you know, be more open-minded about it, it kind of distracts you and it makes you stronger, so you're not focused so much on the pain. Now, I could, you know, I'll be honest and say that, you know, the pain doesn't go away completely. There's always going to be some kind that, you know, stays with you. But when it comes to that point, I just use it as a motivational tool to not go back to where you once were.
So you just say like you kept pushing. Did you say like you transitioned it into creative work?
Absolutely.
And but what got you to just do something? Because a lot of times people are just it's a lot of excuses. You know, it's a lot of this and that, and I don't got the money in this and that. Like what was that thing? What was that one shift? You know what I'm saying? Were you thinking about it for a while, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or what was that point to actually just do something? Because you're doing way more than what a lot of people are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially from someone that has dealt with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people that are dealing with it, and then you actually said, nah, you know what? I'm going to start, and then I'm going to continue. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's like, fuck having an idea. An idea is great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like you started, and then you continued, and I would say maybe you're using that to heal, right?
Yeah.
But just even to start, like almost as simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
you're
what
right.
was that to simply just start? What do you think helped you and to get to that point?
I would have to say looking at some of my other friends that have been through it, and then just realize that, you know, they're okay, and they you just had to start somewhere. You had to start somewhere, and for me it was just telling myself, all right, you know, today I'm going to do something different and not think about what's killing me right now. You know, just try to block it out as much as you can. It may be a little bit of a chore. It may take some time. It may take some adjusting to, but as long as you get your foot in the door, that's all that matters. You know, like for me, I always like to use the analogy. I like to use the analogy. Once you realize that you have a problem, you know, that's step one. So that for me, realizing that something was not right, and, you know, I shouldn't be living life this way, that was the first step for me, and that was the next step for me to let me know that, okay, now I got to figure out how do I get out of it. I believe that every problem has a solution, and that's basically where I took it from.
Word. Good shit, man.
Thank you.
Yo, keep killing it. You know what I
Thank
mean? And what would you tell someone right now that is stuck on, you know, going through it?
What I would say to that person is, you're probably thinking that, you know, you're worried about people are going to judge you. You're worried about being discouraged. You're worried about being a failure. You're focusing too much on every negative connotation that there is. You just have to realize, and, you know, it's going to take the right people to tell you that you're not alone. You are much more valuable than what you think you are. You know, it comes with time. You'll get there. Just can't give up. You know, just keep that mentality that everything is going to be all right. And also use actions. You know, don't just keep telling yourself that with words. Prove it with your actions. And you're going to realize that you're going to surprise yourself in so many ways, and you're going to know your value, and you're going to know your worth, and that is going to do wonders for you in helping you to continue to get out of this rut that you're in. Just don't give up. Don't quit, man, because once you quit, then it's all for nothing.
Talk your shit. Let's go. Don't give up ever.
No.
All right, man. This was really, really dope. Man, we gotta get you on more. We need this guy often, bro.
I'm always down for the cause, man.
Good shit, bro. Maybe this guy will venture out onto some New York podcast with me or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. But
I don't, you know, and I'll even tell you right now, man, I don't mind playing third fiddle to you and Zane if it comes to it every now and then.
All right, good shit, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, you know, at the end of the show, obviously, we just usually shout out something you think is slept on, something that you think is dope. Could be restaurant, food, whatever it
Right.
What you got? You got anything?
That's a really good question. Well, I definitely want to take this opportunity to shout out to DNA Live on Strong Island TV, who actually had me on their show 2 Sundays ago to promote my podcast, because I had them on my show to promote their show, and also Engetics Rap Career and so on and so forth. And so they had me on YouTube on their show, and I thought that was pretty good. And I thought that was a good look for me, and they're doing really cool things out there. So shout out to them. You guys should definitely pay attention to that. Definitely shout out to my guy Joe over here, man. I mean, this guy is doing things that y'all don't even realize. I mean, he's on top of his shit, man. He's got the Therapy Without a Degree. He's got Jersey Media. He's working with this person. He's working with that person. You know, you got your studio coming off soon, man. You know, so that's a really big thing right now. And you know, when you get a chance, man, you know, in the description, put down the link where they can go fund me for it, you know?
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, we starting our journey, man. The Jersey Media team. Shout out to everybody. We got PPG Javi, Christina Caruso, I Am Zane Magazine, Matt, all of us, yo, you know, Jason, you're now part of the family. Whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone, you know, we need a house, you know what I'm saying, for us creatives.
And you know, let me piggyback something off of that. Like one of the reasons why I feel great about being in that, you know, quote unquote family of yours is because for me personally, I have my own family, you know, like everybody has family and so on and so forth, but I don't feel for the longest time that my family had the closeness, or like I felt like I was kind of like a black sheep, so to speak. So one of the things that makes me great about being in this podcast community, quote unquote, is, you know, I don't look at it as just a business venture. I don't look at it as just a hobby. I interact with people on a daily basis with this community because I feel like this is the real family, because at the end of the day, they want the same thing that I do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I look at it more as family more than just a venture or an endeavor.
Yeah. Nah, man, I totally agree.
Yeah. But basically, for lack of a better term, it's kind of the family I've been looking for.
Hey,
for real.
Bro, that's everything I do, I lead with that. You know what I'm saying? I lead with that because, you know, for me in my own life, that's always been a very common theme, you know, through many different aspects of my life. You know, it's been very important. You know, I grew up with a guy who was like my stepfather. He was on my arm. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just like through friends that were brothers and like blood, and just, you know, that has been, but don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom, my blood mom, like, you know, she was amazing. My pops, you know what I'm saying? Me and his relationship has been up and down, you know, throughout our life, but through my adult life now, everything has been good. You know, it's a struggle, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, to me, the people that I will say that are family to me in 2022, none of them are blood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We spoke about that on my episode as well.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones, and I wrote the line in the 3rd episode of Therapy the Series, you know, it's the ones that don't have to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the ones that don't have to be there. When they're there and they show up, to me, that's so major and important. And even though, quote unquote, the blood family doesn't have to be there either, but you know, sometimes it's like you just show up because you got to show up. The other side doesn't, you know. So every time that they do, I greatly appreciate it more than people could ever explain.
Facts.
So that's dope. What I was gonna give a shout out to is called the Backyard Experience, right? So shout out to the Backyard Experience. Super, super dope brand I found based out of Freehold in Jersey. They do these super, super dope parties, and they have like the big Jenga, and they just make their parties just lit.
That shit sounds dope.
And it was like, to me, the story behind it about how this dude got started, to me, was so dope. He was like, because I was on the phone with him today. He was like, yeah, you know, I started in the beginning of the pandemic. He was like, you know, things were shut down. He was like, you know, my daughter kind of wanted to go to movies. He's like, yo, I fucked around and just made a movie theater in my backyard. And I said, here, I'm gonna give you the Backyard Experience. And then with that, he ended up starting a whole fucking business, and the shit is lit now, and it's about to get even more lit soon.
That shit sounds fucking lit.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell
it's just
yeah.
and how dope is that to like yo, I'm gonna do that for my daughter, and then you know what? We're gonna make this into a whole business.
Right.
Like to me, that's some fire shit. That's
And you know what it is also for me, man. It's thinking outside the box. I mean, I feel like everybody can, not to knock anybody that does it, but anybody could open up a barbershop or a liquor store or a little bodega or a restaurant or so on and so forth. This is something that's a little bit outside the box. It's creative, and it goes to show that people know how to work their brains.
Yeah, man. Just like
And that's also inspirational. That story that you said about his daughter, that's what inspired him.
Yeah.
As opposed to just somebody that like, oh, I'm just gonna cut hair because I need to make some money and that's what I know how to do.
Yeah, like to me, this is some real shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you doing that for a real fucking reason. Like look at this shit.
Yeah,
It shit is so fire, man.
mm-hmm.
Like,
and it leaves the door open for other people to think like this as well and open up other businesses like this.
bro, he has no idea what's gonna come. Like what's gonna? Because now that I'm tapped in, oh shit, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Yeah.
It's a wrap. He don't even know it yet. About to keep you busy. Gotta get a whole team. The backyard experience coming soon. Well, out now. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. All right, man. We out of here. Therapy without a degree. Jersey Media, first class, second place. PPG, capital. Peace.